I think we're live. So, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, I can't see you, but I can hear
you. Yay! Hi. Hi.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, yes. So at first, let me introduce you to our classroom. So my name is Soraya. Nice to meet you. And so this is our class. Say hi, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Okay. So I want to kind of give everybody a chance to kind of hop on and view this. So a little bit off. Yeah. Okay. It'll catch up soon. So today, hello everyone.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Sorry. Okay.
Are we also live on Facebook?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
I'm going to check it out.
Okay, definitely. So I kind of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
This is on professor's page, Stacy's page, or?
It's on the the university's communication page. So communication page, yes. So would you like a link to it, or?
Yeah, if you don't mind sending me a link, that would be great.
Let me try to figure that out right now.
Yeah, because I couldn't see anything here, so I will go to Facebook to at least see you guys.
Okay. Okay, I just DM'd it to you right now. Were you able to receive it on Twitter?
Okay, let me check. See, we are on BeLive, Facebook, and Twitter. Yes.
Okay. Alrighty, so that's the link we have. And so we're going to get started now. Is everybody ready? Okay. So hello, everybody. Today our guest is Dr. Ais Zhang. Yes. Ai is a college professor who advocates for the power of social media to bring together technology and education. So she's a digital learning consultant who runs a Facebook account where she actively shares tips, resources, and participates in Facebook live shows to educate professors on embracing social media and technology in the classroom. She believes educators need to connect with their students at their own level and use social media tools to create a more interactive and participatory classroom learning environment. She herself began doing this in her college classrooms and claims it completely changed her teaching career. And now she wants to share it with the power of social media and bring it into the classroom some more. So is there anything you can speak upon that? And we're really glad you can join us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And that introduction is perfect. I was like, is that me?
Yes, well, I kind of did a little bit of research on you as well, and I really enjoyed everything that I read, so I really liked it.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. Good research.
Okay, so I have a couple questions for you. So could you tell us a little bit about your first live streaming experience and if it was on Facebook?
Yes, definitely. And my live streaming journey started quite a few years ago. And the first one was actually with Periscope. So when Periscope just came out, I was so excited. So I tried it. And I think my scope was about me and my husband making dumpling. And myself was not even in the video. My face was just only the cutting board and that. And then I kind of like forgot about Periscope. And then a few years ago, Snapchat became really, really popular. So I jumped onto Snapchat. I was snapping every single day, sometimes for hours at Snapchat, and I documented my journey. I share my stories as a college. And also, I spend lots of time chatting with my own students on Snapchat. So, and that was really cool. And after that, I kind of transitioned to Facebook Live, which is more public. So I started to do Facebook Live. And then last year in June, I started my Facebook Live show. So I had this kind of like journey. Yeah.
Well, that's a very interesting journey. I really like it. So do you live stream right now on any other platforms other than Facebook, or are you specifically just doing Facebook?
Like mainly on Facebook for my own show, because I learned that my audience is mainly on Facebook, but I also use Periscope. I am connected with a group of educators. And so every month we get together virtually and we use Periscope to share and to talk about something related to education. So our hashtag is PassTheScopeEDU. So which is really cool. And we have educators from all over the globe. Every month we come together and we talk about something we're passionate about related to education. I love it. So mainly on Facebook and Periscope.
Okay, yeah, that's very interesting. I really like the educator part of that. It's really nice. So
it really shows the, sorry to interrupt you, really shows the power of technology. You know, right now, myself, I'm in South Korea. You know, without technology, I think I wouldn't be able to do any of the activities I'm doing right now. You know, like technology, it is just like so powerful. Yeah.
Yes, it is. I agree with you.
So what time it is where she's at?
So what time is it over there in South Korea?
6 a.m. on Friday.
Oh my God! I don't think I'd be able to wake up that early for that.
Oh, I think the hardest part of coming to Korea is actually time difference. Sometimes I have meetings like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. So this one is actually not bad at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. I once went to China and the time difference to talk to my family back here was not very fun. So
it's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so in your live streams, you are participating in a back channel conversation in the comments while at the same time you're hosting the actual Q&A. So and as well as interacting with your guests. So how do you manage to do all three of these things at the same time?
This is the hardest part. I really wish I had a magic bullet. I can tell you, just do this, everything will be fine. And unfortunately, no. You just have to practice. I remember the first time I hosted my show or went live on Facebook and people were like commenting. And I remember, yes, it was the time I was sharing my decision to come to Korea for 2 years. And there were so many people joined my live and I was talking, I was being emotional, I was commenting. It was really, really hard. And I think you just have to practice a lot and to get used to it. So recently what I did for my own show and to make things even harder for myself was that, you know, you shared this Be Live link with me, right? So what I did is that in the comment section, I pinned my Be Live link. So anyone joined the chat live, they could click on that link to join the live video chat with me and my guest of honor. So sometime like yesterday when I did my show, at some point, I had like 3 or 4 people waiting in the lobby to join the show. And at the time, I'm monitoring comments and I'm chatting with people and I'm engaging in this like 3 people conversation. It's very challenging, but it does get better as you practice, you know, over time. So my recommendation was just like when you get started on this live streaming journey, maybe you practice with your friends, boyfriend, girlfriend, or even parents or grandparents, or even in front of your dogs or cats, whatever, and just to get used to that feeling, you know. And recently I interviewed Chocolate Johnny. I don't know if you guys follow him. He's really great. He's a live streaming expert. And so what he shared with me was that like when you first go live, you can write down on your like description, you are a newbie and this is my first scope or my first live streaming session. And people understand and people will be really nice to you. Just like when you are a new driver. So you have that on your car. So this is kind of like similar. But with practice, everyone can do this and can get easier.
Okay. Oh yeah. So hopefully we're getting a lot of practice right now.
Yes, definitely. And if you want, Stacy, you can pin the Be Live link in the comment section. And anyone in the students in the audience, if you want to join us live, even though I couldn't really see you right now, but if I go to Facebook, I can see you. Ask me a question, or we can make this super interactive, and you can practice monitoring content and people waiting for you in the lobby. It is quite an intense feeling.
Yeah, definitely. So if you guys want the link, go ahead, let me know. So can you tell us a little bit about how you plan your live stream interviews? So how
yes.
around planning everything?
Yeah, this really takes lots of time. I always joke, if I knew how much time this involves, I probably wouldn't start this. And I do lots of research to find people to come to my show and then send them emails. Sometimes, especially with the time difference, so back and forth a few emails. And also I develop interview questions, and also I send them reminders. And also I create a graphic to promote the show, and I also do the promotion. I also do the interview. I also do a blog post recap. I try to do a blog post recap of every single episode of the interview. So if you add all of them up, it takes a huge amount of time. I think if I didn't love this, that's why whenever you start, you really have to love this. I just love doing interviews and chatting with people about education and technology. This is something I'm truly passionate about. So I really enjoy this. I told myself, even if nobody came to my show, just me, myself talking, I would still have a great time. So that's how much I love this. And I think this passion really keeps me going. But it does takes me quite an amount of time, 5 hours or so a week, or 6, maybe even 6.
Wow. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, it's great that you have that passion for it, because it really shows in your work that, you have that passion for what you do.
Yeah,
it's very amazing.
Yeah. It's also important to have a content calendar, and so that you don't, for example, yesterday I talked about productivity, and so I want to make sure the coming week I'm talking about something else. So it's important that you have a content calendar, kind of plan a little bit, so that you are covering a wide range of topics appealing to your audience, not repetitive topics. So it's important that you kind of plan a little bit. This is something I didn't do at the beginning. Whoever wanted to come, I was like, yeah, come. But now I had people who wanted to come to my show. So I built a little bit of momentum. I have the luxury to plan, so which definitely makes things a little bit easier and better in terms of serving my audience.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have another couple questions. So how do you think brands are using live streams, and do you have any examples of how brands are using their live streams that you can share with us?
Yes, definitely. And I think I have a few examples to share with you, and individuals and also brands. And for example, I also want you guys to follow Social Media Examiner. It's not a commercial brand, but it is a social media marketing. I really love them. They have a weekly podcast. Definitely listen to them. And every Friday, they also have a show, and they're live on Facebook, on Periscope, on YouTube, multiple places at the same time, to show you what is happening in the social media marketing world within 7 days. And I really love that. I also love, many brands, they are also using Instagram Live to document their journey and to invite people to join them on Instagram to share stories. I also like that. And Dunkin' Donuts, they are really great in terms of, I used to watch them a lot on Snapchat. And Taco Bell, I love them, how they use emojis. They are really advanced in terms of trying out new things, just being authentic and connecting with their audience and engaging with them. So those are the 3 kind of big name brands. And for individuals, I also recommend brand Fenzo, Owen, Video, Mario Armstrong, and Stephanie Liu, and Chris Straub. I can share the list of people with you, Professor, later. But those people, they're really good. They are very consistent. They live stream on a regular basis. They serve their audience, and they provide good value, and which makes them stand out.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think being authentic is a really important thing.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. You don't even have to. My biggest tip is everyone think about live streaming this, I need to have this equipment and that. You don't, sometimes I prefer to watch videos are not so well edited or so fancy, and the everyday ones, I can relate, taking a walk or in the room. Yeah.
Hello?
Yes. Did I lose you?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Kind of froze a little bit, but we got it. Okay, so another question that we have is, so how do you promote your own live streams? How far in advance do you do like promotion for it? I don't know, what channels do you promote them on?
Yes, I am almost on every single social media channel. So I promote my show. So I typically send my interview questions to my guests on Sunday, and then I start promoting my show on Monday. So Monday to Wednesday, you know, my show is 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so 2 p.m. Pacific Time. So from Monday to 2 p.m. and I promote my show on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I also do stories to promote my show. And one thing sometimes I will tag people on Twitter. Like if I know they will love the content, they will benefit from my content, I will tag them. And sometimes I also send like a one-on-one, like a DM on Twitter or Messenger, Facebook, and send them messages if I know they are going to benefit from the content. So I do all of those things. And also on my Facebook, because I have a page, you know, on Facebook page, you can also link a Facebook group. So I have a group linked to my page. I also share my show information in the Facebook group. So that definitely also helps. And also I want to point out, you know, social media is a two-way street. If you only use social to promote who you are, what you do, I don't think it's going to be effective, especially with all the algorithm changes. I do spend a huge amount of time trying to nurture and build my community. And I think that really helps, you know, a small amount of time promoting my show, a much larger amount of time, like getting to know people, especially people who come to my show, getting to know their interests, send them a video. Hey, how are you? Thank you so much for coming to my show. What do you like about my show? What you don't like? Really get to know them and seeking feedback from them. And I think that really helps.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. So then what kind of live stream metrics can be tracked and measures to kind of determine where your success level is at? So what exactly do you determine? How do you determine if your live stream was successful, I suppose?
Yeah, it's definitely engagement. For me, engagement rates. And if you look at, I don't know if you have a business page or a public page. So if you have a public page, Facebook Insights is really good. And Facebook Insights shows you like the engagement you get and which post is performing well and which type of content is not performing well. So I use that all the time. And also, during the chat or after chat, and when people check out the replay, I will see like, because on Facebook, 3 seconds is considered a view, you know, but to me, that's not really like, if you only look at the numbers, how many people viewed, and sometimes the number can be a little bit misleading because if everyone only watches like 3 seconds, it's not telling you much. So I try to see, I look at the data, tell me how many people actually stayed until the end and engage, like how many, you know, Facebook, they really prioritize meaningful interactions. So I love during my show to see my audience actually chatting with each other, like having like long conversations. So that is also an indicator and how many people shared. And like many people, I don't really have a call to action, but if you are a small business owner, when you do Facebook Live, you have a call to action. Like, for example, after your live, you want people to go to your website or to download a piece of like a document or click on something. So that call to action, you can check how many people watch your show and what is your call to action rate, how many people actually listen to you and click or did whatever you asked them to do. So that is another way to just look at all those ways that how engaged your audience are.
I agree with you. So I believe that's all the questions that we have prepared, but I do want to kind of open up the floor for any questions that perhaps the students have. So do you guys have any other questions? Okay, let me turn it around really quick for you. Can you see?
Hi.
I think so.
Hi, what's your favorite social media outlet?
That is hard to say because I call myself a social media addict. I spend a huge amount of time on social media. So I really love Twitter. I think Twitter is what like got me started. And I was only really active on social media for 3 years. It is not that long. I think the platform that gave me lots of like momentum and helps me build my community and enhance my visibility is actually Twitter. I did like at the beginning of my social media journey, I was really active at participating in Twitter chats. I still do Twitter chats, but not as many as I used to. And so Twitter is a really great platform for me. And also I like Facebook, and especially for my show. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so is there any other questions anybody has?
Also, another tip I want to share with students is really like start building. I'm sure you discussed this in class. Start building your digital footprint now. You know, like many people say that first impression is really important. I agree. I think nowadays first impression starts on the internet. You know, like I can see from my own experience and how my digital footprint or my digital social media brand has brought so many amazing opportunities to me that are otherwise unthinkable. I think if this can happen to me, can happen to every single person, especially for students like you in the audience. You do need like jobs, discoverability, all those things.
So, oh, we do have another question for you. Hold on a sec. Let me turn it around. Oh.
Hi!
Hi!
You're so energetic. I love it. Well, I'm Florida.
Especially 6 a.m., right?
So I see on your Twitter you have Facebook Live interviews every Wednesday at 5 p.m. How do you start getting the word out that it's happening? Or how do you kind of advertise and market for that to happen and have more viewers join? And what has worked for you?
Can someone repeat the question for me? I think she's kind of far away. I couldn't hear her that clearly.
Sorry, you want to repeat the question? Oh, here, I'll repeat the question. Okay, hi there. So what Flora was asking is how you promote and how you get viewers to your show for Facebook Live. Like, what are some of the things that you found have been most successful as far as bringing more people to the show?
Yes, definitely. And my show has been so far watched by people from 13 to 14 different countries, which I'm just so blessed. And so I think two things. The first is like promote multiple channels. You know, like I'm everywhere I'm promoting. And the second is community building. And I think that most people who come to my show are people I already know who are in my community. And I know their interest and they kind of know me. So they come and support me. They also enjoy the content. So I think those are my two biggest tips. You really have to, you know, social media, people tend to use social as a way, hey, look at me, I'm awesome, I did this, I did that, which is great. But don't make that the only thing you do on social media. You also need to celebrate others, support others, share other people's content. I think this is something I do a lot. And through this, I really get to know people, and people like they want to come to my show because I supported them and they know me, I know them. And I think it's a mutually beneficial relationship that I think the community building part is what really helps me. And as a content creator like myself, I couldn't imagine being a content creator without having a community. You know, recently I had the honor to interview Mark Schaefer, who is like a big name on my show. And he shared with me, you know, the content, regardless how awesome it is, the economic value of content that is not shared is zero. So I think, you know, we can be like, all of us can be really awesome at producing amazing content, but if nobody's checking out your content, it is still a failure. So building your community, getting to know people, celebrating others so that they will celebrate you.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. I think social media it is really important to create that relationship with other people so that, you know, we can all just help each other grow and stuff like that. So
Exactly. And for students, you know, like for some of those big name influencers, and at the beginning, it really took me a few years to finally have the courage to reach out to them and say, hey, I really love your article. I love your book. And to my great surprise, many of them are really responsive. And even a few days ago, I had a few like Twitter interaction or exchanges with Gary Vee. You know, he has like 1 million or 2 million, whatever followers. And I was like, oh, wow, those people actually do talk to you. So talk to them. Sometimes just ask, especially if they know you are a student, and people are really willing to chat with you and to help. Yeah.
I agree. Okay, so do we have any other questions? Last question. Oh, yes, we have 2 more questions.
We'll let you translate.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead.
I see on her LinkedIn, she's the founder and advisor of PRSSA, and I wanted to ask, how has that experience transpired to what she does today in her talk?
Okay. So Flora asked another question. If so, it says on your LinkedIn that you are the co-founder of PR and advisor of the PRSSA, correct?
Yes, yes.
Stockton University. So how does that tie into exactly what you do today? So how did you bring those traits that you had back then to what you do now?
Yeah, I think I'm really an action-oriented person. I really love taking action. So after I joined Stockton, they didn't really have a PR program, but I know how powerful like PRSSA is. So I gathered a small group, actually 2 students and myself, and we founded this chapter. We did the research. And like I am an advocate of not just like you can learn a lot from classrooms and learning from teachers, which is great and important. I also think it is equally important to get involved learning outside the classroom, you know, and I think that's why my show is called Classroom Without Walls. And I think students, everyone, we need to see the power of technology. If one wants to learn, there are so many ways we can learn. You know, I think the best learning happens outside the classroom. So get involved, doing internship and all those things. So that's kind of the Stockton chapter was kind of the beginning of my career. And but that reflects my philosophy and approach to teaching. You know, I really encourage and even like I require my students to go to PRSSA event, to do this and that, so that they can make sense of what they are learning in the classroom, which is really important. Even for me, running my show, you know, before I read all those articles about how to be good in front of camera and how to like build a community, all those articles I read or books I read, but only until I started doing this myself, I was like, that really makes sense. Oh yeah, I see why that person is talking about that. So all those aha moments started to come to me after I like take action. So you guys are so lucky. You have such an amazing professor who is so ahead of the game, doing BeLive, all those things. And I think definitely take advantage of this experience.
Definitely. And I think I speak for everyone when we say you do take advantage of it. Take advantage of having a great professor.
Absolutely.
So, okay, so I just want to make sure no other questions. Other questions? Okay, so again, we want to thank you for joining us today, and thank you so much for waking up early. Thank you. And if anybody wants to catch the live show afterwards, we're gonna have it saved on it's gonna be archived on Facebook. So if anybody wants to join or see it there, it can be there. So thank you so much again for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We'll see you on Twitter.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. Truly my pleasure.
Okay, have a great day.
Bye. Enjoy
Bye.
the rest of the class.